U.S. Embassy has been supporting this fest for the 5th year, and today we have the press attaché of the U.S. Embassy, Jeffrey Ennisman. Where's Jeffrey? Jeffrey? Again, the press attaché of the U.S. Embassy to Ukraine, Jeffrey. Embassy. Thank you. Доброго дня всім.
Look, investigative journalism and journalism are tremendously important, but I don't have to tell you that. This is all something you know very well, especially at a place like this, being here in Mezhyhirya. And I think that's why so many people are supporting it and taking great photos with big signs from the sponsors and everyone else. But I think especially for the United States and for Americans, journalism and investigative journalism and all kinds of journalism are almost holy, something very, very special. You know, after our Constitution was passed, we had a Bill of Rights. We've had 27 amendments to our Constitution overall. The very first one, the First Amendment, is freedom of speech, freedom of the press. That's how important it is. I don't know if any of you have had the chance to see the musical about Alexander Hamilton. Before it was a musical, he was one of the great founders of our country, and he started the New York Post, which is actually the most popular print newspaper in New York City today. Very important. And growing up, American kids learn that journalists are heroes. And you know that. There's the story of people drawing documents in this room that were fished out of the water. But in American history, we think of journalists as heroes. When I was in 10th grade in high school, I remember sitting down to watch the movie All the President's Men, which is a great movie with Robert Redford and Dustin Hoffman, two of our biggest stars. It's about Watergate and the drama and the excitement and the struggle for the truth through investigative journalism that made us a better country. And they're heroes, made movies about them. This is something kids watched and enjoyed. It's a great movie. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. And when it comes to heroes, I think probably the most popular hero in America, in American culture, you think of superheroes in comic books, is Superman. Superman flies around the world and kills bad guys and saves people, but he also has a day job. He's a reporter for the Daily Planet. And my favorite superhero is Spider-Man, who is a photojournalist. I see some photojournalists here, which is good, very important in today's new media environment. So that shows you how tremendously important that is. Now, I'm sure many of you have heard that our third president, the great Thomas Jefferson, said that if he had to choose between having a government or having the press, he would pick the press. He said it much more eloquently than that. But the reality is you need both. And I know that's one of the things everyone is talking about today. You can find out the truth. You can find out someone stealing something or doing something or whatever, but you need the second half. You need a functioning government. And so I think that's the real challenge now. That's why it's so important to get all of the anti-corruption institutions like the Anti-Corruption Court up and going and everything else. So thank you for all of your work. Thank you for being here today. And have a great rest of the conference.
Я також хочу сказати про інших партнерів, які
Partners of Mezhyhirya, the Center of Corruption Initiative of European Union, the Embassy of the Netherlands, OCCRP, and SCOOP. Some of our partners will say a few words later. So let's move to the award ceremony. This is the National Investigative Journalism Award. We launched it 4 years ago. It was launched by the initiative Yanukovych Leaks, and every year we award the best investigation, a special report. This will be the 5th award ceremony, and this year we're awarding the works which were published, video published works, online works, works that were published in 2017. The jury are Ukrainian and international experts. You can see who was assessing the work. Some of them are here. This year, about 100 works were submitted, and the members had to select one which is the best, and also the work that we usually mark with the special award. Seven journalists were selected for the finals. Igor Fещенко from Chesna, Anna Kalaur from Fourth Authority, Valeria Yegoshina from Skims, Evgenia Motarevska from Slidstvo Info, Tatiana Kozareva, Ukrainska Pravda, Alexander Gumenik, Slidstvo Info, and Dina Popovich, Channel 24. You can see the works here. And now we'll be awarding the journalist who will receive the special award. This is the diploma and the $5 prize, and I would like to invite Ekut Keshalashvili from Anti-Corruption Initiative of EU to announce the winner.
Be here today with you. I'll be very short in this introduction before we actually do the award ceremony, but then it's hard to be not under the impression from what we have seen all. The documentary that has presented an excellent investigative journalism product of the kind that in any country investigative journalists could be proud of. I guess what I would wanted to add now, from after having watching the film, something that I haven't thought when I was thinking what I would have said to you today, from my side, is that what is there in terms of a hope when we speak about the change, when we speak about the reform, when we speak about fight against corruption, how not only tracing and recovery of the assets that are corrupt assets, as the title of the event says today, is that the whole investigation, and with that the predictability of punishment could be put at place. We work very closely anti-corruption, European Union's anti-corruption initiative with newly created anti-corruption agencies in Ukraine. We bring help related to the capacity development, IT technologies, anything that gives them possibility to be as effective as possible to fight corruption. And we work very closely, and we know intimately how much work and commitment they put in what they do. NABU, SAPO, newly created agency like ARMOR. And when we speak about heroes, and you are all heroes in your line of the work, when we speak about journalists, I can say that detectives, analysts in NABU, new analytical work that is being performed in the organizations like ARMA, they are already beginning to be the new superheroes that are fighting corruption in your country. And here we are to help. We are here to strengthen their abilities. But I believe that the commitment and dedication to the work that they have is the hope that fighting against corruption in this country can be holistic, effective, and ultimately when we speak about redemption, when we speak about remedying the damage that is being inflicted to the society, to the country, can be effectively brought to the point when people can believe in justice, people can believe in predictability of the rule of law. New horizon of development with the creation of specialized anti-corruption court could be more real than nobody could have believed, perhaps even a few months ago, that it was a realistic option. But now we're very close to that moment as well. The European Union will be there to help Ukraine in terms of institutional development of the new specialized anti-corruption court as well, so that the whole line, logical chain of those agencies who will be fighting here and are fighting already top corruption in Ukraine, are served by the judicial body who can be independent, professional, where the timely decisions could be tangible in a shorter period of time, rather than, as it has been mentioned in the court, when it takes years before anything pragmatic comes out from the judiciary. Here today we have a moment of celebration and recognition of the work of dedicated, hardworking, heroic journalists, and I'm very happy that I'm part of this ceremony. I'll be very brief now. I'll close my speech and then we'll go to the award ceremony itself. I would want, here we will have one coming into the scene. The winners of the first winners is the group of the journalists, Kana Kalaur, Valery Martinyuk, and Volodymyr Torvich.
Я би хотіла зазначити, що розслідування, яке отримало спеціальну відзнаку конкурсу, воно зроблено журналістами разом Анна Калаур, Валерій
Valery Korniuk. Unfortunately, last week there was a tragedy. Anna and Valery had an accident. Valery perished. Anna is now at the hospital. She's being operated on. Unfortunately, such things happen, and we are sorry that we cannot share this wonderful moment with them. Every journalist is happy when wins. I would like to give the floor to Volodymyr Torvich, who is a co-author in this work. Thank you. I would like to have Anya here, first of all, so that Valera, our operator, cameraman, is with us. But this happened because of the mistake of the taxi driver. They were shooting another episode, and Valera perished, and Anya is at the hospital. I thank the jury that you awarded the prize to this work. Anya worked a lot on that, investigating corruption, but accidentally they found the facts of sexual abuse at the university. I'm proud that Tanya and Valera put so much effort for this program to be put on air. Also would like to thank our colleagues from Следство Info, and the четвертая влада was doing this investigation. Thank you.
Я би хотіла
And I believe it would be correct to commemorate the memory of our colleague by a minute of silence. We can continue the ceremony of awards, and now we will announce the winner of the National Investigative Journalism competition. He will receive the special statuette, which is ordered specially for this competition. We call it Proxy. And one of the finalists whose works we have shown, one of them will get this statuette and also the monetary award of 1,000 euros. I would like to invite Henrik Hausholz from Scoop and our partners.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to see faces that I know, with whom I have been working. This shows continuity in the media society in Ukraine when it comes to investigative reporting. I'm also very glad to see a lot of new faces, because this means that this work will go on. And it's certainly necessary. You know better than me that the working conditions for independent press and independent journalism, the working conditions are becoming much worse than they used to be. The present government is certainly not constructive when it comes to press freedom. So your work is very much needed, and I can assure you that the international community of investigative reporters will do whatever we can to support you when needed. I was sad to hear about the tragic accident in Rivne, because the Rivne agency was one of the first working with support from SCOOP, the investigative support structure that we started here in Ukraine in 2003. Well, we are now coming to the winner. I have to have the Valeria Yegoshin. So, you can have a lot of documents under that.
Так, якщо
Підкласти. If I need to say something, далі. Yes.
in an office.
Or you at home, where you would like to have it. I think you should be very proud.
Yes.
100 nominees, and you were taken as the best. Could you hold it? Yes. And last but not least, the Danish journalists, the Danish community of investigative reporters have for years collected the money that I'm now going to hand you. This is 1,000 euros. It's not from one of the organizations or sponsors that you know of. These money are a gift for Ukrainian journalism from the journalist of Politiken in Copenhagen. Please.
Thank you.
And they're very happy that we can support, and I do think that we'll be able to hand it out next year as well. And I'm happy that Danish journalists follow the situation here so closely that they give the money. I would like to say something that has nothing to do with you or Ukraine. I also happen to be chairing a European organization fighting for press and media freedom. And this is a very crucial moment for the free press and the free word. Inspired by Mr. Putin and Mr. Erdogan, we see a lot of negative developments in Western Europe as well. And every report about world press conditions for the last 5 months have mentioned that especially in Western Europe, the trend is surprisingly now going down. I don't hope that you one day would have to come to Denmark to support us. I still hope that we will be better and be able to support you. But this is a European fight. This is a global fight. Don't forget that you are part of a very, very large picture. Thank you and good luck.
Thank you.
And you have to...
Хочеш вийти за брови?
Давай потримаємо мікрофон, щоб ти сказала.
Now I can say something positive. First, I told my mother that if I don't win Medjugorje, I will leave the profession. I'm not leaving the profession. Second, again, I would like to mention that in the security service of Ukraine, there are real, honest officers. We have to support them and to investigate only cases that really are not supporting the SBU's dignity. In childhood, I was dreaming of working in the security service and investigate the schemes. Now I investigate the schemes in the security service, so my dream has partially come true. And I would like to wish you all to have your dreams come true. Thank you and greetings. That was a great speech. So, the ceremony is over. The award ceremony very soon will have a festive dinner. We're celebrating the Day of Journalists. And there will be the dinner and concert. There will be a concert. Collier company will be performing. And the transfers from here to the metro station will be at 10 and 10:30 p.m. For those who go back to Kiev, those who go to Hotel Visegrad at 20 to 20. But tomorrow we continue MezhyhiryaFest from 10 a.m. We'll be talking much about interesting journalist cases, Ukrainian, foreign. See you tomorrow.